Welcome back, YouTubers. Kuroshitsuji from the Otaku here, and today I'm going to be doing a short and kind of complete review on the first season of Black Butler. So first of all, just to get started, I found this anime fairly average. Didn't really see what all the hype was about. I got recommended it from my anime list, and I watched it all in a day because, well, I was told it was really good. And then after finishing it, I was basically like, really good, not really, average, yeah, more like it. So for starters, start with the story. I gave the story about a 7. It's basically about a young boy between 10, starts off as 10 years old, and then throughout the rest of the series he's around 12 to 13 years old. Starts off with a young boy, his name is Seal Phantom Hive, and his parents get murdered, or they die in a fire. And basically throughout the whole season, he's basically just trying to exact revenge of the murderers of his parents. And throughout the season, he works for, he's basically known as the Queen's guard dog, and he takes up missions given to him by the Queen. And not just normal missions, these are like supernatural missions, like go and exorcise a ghost, or go and go to a remote town, find a devil dog and kill it, something like that. They're all kind of supernatural missions. They're not really things that an ordinary person would do. And the way that this story is set up, it's basically 3 to 4 episode arcs, along with a main solid story embedded into those 3 to 4 story arcs. And they do a good job of being able to imbue a solid story as well as a main story within those 3 to 4 episode arcs. So each arc has its own story as well as a main story to it, which is a good thing to see in an anime like this. Aside from the story, which I found really good, the ending I found terrible. It was absolutely atrocious. I hated the ending for this anime because it's not really, well, it is a cliffhanger, but it's not really a good cliffhanger. It's basically the whole season is leading up to a conclusion which we want to see, and we know we're going to see. It's absolutely definitely going to happen, and they show us all the events leading up to this ending, except they do not show us the actual event we want to see. They do not show us the exact ending we want to see. Basically, it's just like, this is going to happen, A, B, C, and then when we want to see D, it just cuts it, it just stops it right there, and I'm just like, this was just terrible. What a waste of time. The ending, for me, in any anime, is about 70 to 80% of an anime, basically, because it's the last thing you watch, so it's going to be the last thing in your mind. So if the ending is, well, terrible, then you're going to judge the entire anime as being terrible. And that, unfortunately for this, is basically what happened. Even though consistently throughout the anime it was good, the ending, I hated it. So in the back of my mind, that the entire anime was also bad. Even though I liked the story, etc., the ending just ruined it. Moving on from that, the solid plot, as I was talking about earlier, I gave it an 8 because they did a really good job of, with those 3 to 4 episodes arcs, having its own story, its own solid plot, as well as giving the main story to the entire season of finding out about Seal's past and who the people who killed his parents were. And the people who killed his parents, it's a bit of a twist. I kind of saw it coming, but not a lot of people will. Unless you've seen a lot of mystery animes, then you won't really be able to see it coming. But it is a bit of a twist. The moral of this one, I do judge the moral in watching an anime because I do believe that when you're watching an anime, the directors and the writers of the anime, they do try to put in like a sort of a hidden meaning, and they try to make it not so clear, but it's something that you have to walk away from the anime saying, yeah, I saw this is what I learned, something like that. So basically what I basically took out of this one is that the meaning, or the hidden meaning that they're basically trying to give out to the audience, the people who are watching it, is that we're all basically human, so it doesn't really matter what blood you spill, it's always going to be red. So it doesn't really matter who you're from, where you're from, what country you're from, your race, your background, your religion. We're all human, so you should always treat each other as equals, which is a nice kind of thing to this anime, something to, it is PG-13, so I guess that they're trying to teach future generations of kids who are watching this, not to discriminate against other people, and bullying is wrong, things like that, which is really nice. So I gave it an 8. The sense to this didn't really make complete sense, but then I won't say it did not make any sense at all. So I gave it a 5. It was somewhere in between. All of that questions, well, there were a lot of questions and not all of them were answered. Only quite a few of them were answered. And then you've also got the stereotypical and cliche action scenes, how the butler kills people with silverware. Yes, silverware, he basically threw a fork in between somebody's forehead and they died, which is, what the fuck, how is that even possible? But then again, he's a demon, so I guess, it's not entirely beyond the whole realm of impossibilities, seeing as he is a demon. And the whole cliche butler demon, how his name is Sebastian, and Sebastian Mikaels, and he's able to basically do anything, any order he is given, he completes it to like the 100% maximum, and it'll always be done. Like, it's no matter what the order is, it'll always get done. So basically, it's a bit of a kind of a letdown to see, like, when Seal does give Sebastian an order, you already know automatically that the order is 100% going to be accomplished to its fullest, no matter what it is, whether it's like winning a billion-mile race or like flying to the sun. If Seal gives that order, then Sebastian Michaels will do it and it will get done. There's never the improbability of Seal's order not being fulfilled. Moving on, music. I really liked the music from this. All the music was very complimentary to the scenes, so I gave it an 8. It was very nice. The pitches and tones that rose and decreased with the scene. So if the scene was fast-paced, then so would the music. And then if it became like a romantic scene or a comedic scene or something like that, then it would slow down a bit and it would complement the scene in that kind of way. Moving on from that, the art I found really nice. I gave it an 8. All the characters were drawn differently, so there was always differentiating between characters, so you could always tell who was Seal and who was Sebastian, and you wouldn't get mixed up between two butlers or two main characters, and it was really nice to see that. Characters, I gave a 9. This is one of the highest points of this anime because they give each of the main characters a background, and it tells you about their past and their skills and their strengths and their weaknesses and things like that. There's also an episode in the second half of it where it tells you about the 3 main staff members of Seal, about his chef and his maid and his farmer. It gives you a background of each of them, so you know where they're coming from and how one was able to attain super strength and why one is so clumsy and why one is always blowing shit up. So it gives you that background on those 3, which is really nice to see. The enjoyment level of this, an 8. I did, even though the ending was a bit of a letdown, I didn't really take it into consideration when viewing this, because if I did, then it would have got on a very lower score than 8. So I didn't put that in there because overall I really liked this anime. It was really good. It was a nice watch, except for that ending, which was a really big letdown. So my personal score, I did take the ending into consideration when reviewing the personal score. I gave it a 7, only because the ending, it was a massive letdown. But in overall, if I would recommend this anime, yes or no, it becomes a little bit hazy there just due to the ending. But I would say if you're looking for an anime just to fill up time in your day, you've got things to do, and you just want to watch an anime to kick back, relax, then sure, watch this anime. But if you're looking for an anime that's got, a smashing finish, a really good start, and just that whole complete package, then if you're looking for something like that, then I wouldn't recommend this anime, just because the ending is is a massive letdown. Because the thing you want to see the most in the entire anime, the thing you know is going to happen, the thing that should happen, we don't get to see. It's just really lets us down. It does let us down in that way. And then to rate the genres of the anime, comedy is a 7. The funny scenes are really funny. Sometimes I found myself actually, laughing pretty loud from them. They're pretty over-exaggerated at times, which is, it's good for that comedic sense, for that purpose of that to, give the audience something else apart from all the blood and the gore and the supernatural kind of stuff. So it's good to have a little bit of funny parts in there. So for comedy, I gave it a 7. For action, an 8. The fighting scenes were good, even though they were Hollywood-style fighting scenes with Sebastian throwing knives and spoons and forks all over the place and hitting his target 99.999% of the time, and then they'd always die as well from, like a fork would kill somebody, but, in this sense it does because he's a demon. So I gave it an 8, which is nice. And Supernatural a 7, just because it's, it's the average Supernatural. It's nothing more, it's nothing less, except for one small factor where we have the demon dog. That's just something additional added. I've never really seen a demon dog before, so it was quite nice to see that, even though the demon dog is basically a werewolf. I mean, really, they just call it a demon dog. But, you have your angels, your demons, your ghosts, your crazy ass killers, and then you've got your demon dog, which was really nice. So that's about it from me. The total average score was a 7.2. If you'd like to read the full review, I'll put a link for it in the description below. And thanks for watching, guys.